you know what they say, you have to make space for better things to come into your life. And that means saying goodbye to stuff that you thought would be with you forever. Turns out, not really. So, hello my friends, how are you doing? Welcome back, or if you're new, welcome to my channel. I love talking about books, and I love creating a space where I feel comfortable, and every single thing that I lay my eyes upon brings me happiness. And recently, my bookshelf has not been doing that. There are a few books here and there that whenever I look at them, I'm like, why do I still have you? Why do I pretend that I'm going to pick you back up again anytime soon when I know for a fact that I won't? I know for a fact that that phase of my life is over, and I have to come to terms with that and just let go of the attachment that I have to these books and understand that the memories that I have with these books are going to remain with me, but the books don't have to. As you can see, I have a few books behind me, more than a few. It's a little over 40 books that I'm going to be unhauling because it's time. I want my bookshelf to be representative of the person that I am, and I want it to reflect what I like, what I love, and these books just don't do that. So I recently did a 24-hour live stream with my Patreons. They helped me go through a couple of my shelves, and they were like, sis, I know for sure, I know for a fact that you do not like that book, so do everybody a favor and get rid of it. So that was definitely a fun time. It was very cathartic, and it felt very productive to finally do this unhaul, because this is totally unrelated to the fact that I recently bought a bunch of books and I don't have anywhere to put them. So I do really need the space. Totally unrelated. Like, no correlation has been found between these two facts. Before we can get into all of the books that I'm going to be unhauling, I did want to thank the sponsor of today's video, which is glassesusa.com. By cutting out the middleman, glassesusa.com offers over 9,000 pairs of glasses and sunglasses, including in-house brands as well as designer brands like Gucci, Prada, Louis Vuitton, and many more, at up to 70% off retail prices. They also offer a risk-free shopping experience with free shipping and returns and 100% money-back guarantee within 14 days of your purchase. GlassesUSA.com makes buying glasses online stress-free and so easy. They have a quiz that helps you find the right pair of glasses based on your face shape and needs. They also have a virtual try-on tool where you can upload a picture of yourself and preview different lenses on you to see how they would look, which helps me feel much more confident on my choices because I don't have to wonder how they're going to look when they arrive. I can already tell that they're going to look amazing, stunning, beautiful. I also love that GlassesUSA.com offers a collection of advanced blue light blocking lenses. As someone who's always busy editing videos and working on my computer, watching TV, binging a 16-episode K-drama in one sitting, yeah, these glasses are a lifesaver. These glasses make sure that I can do that over and over again, and my eyes are protected. The glasses that I'm currently wearing are called the Amelia E. Bridget, and I absolutely love these. I've gotten so many compliments whenever I'm wearing these because I feel like they just do a really good job at shaping my face and just bringing out my best features, which are all of them. I also have these, which are the Tris, and I love the little detail on the legs. And last but definitely not least, we've got these babies, the Muse Wild. I feel like I belong Upper East Side Gossip Girl, you know what I mean? Like, I'm giving that vibe, and I just, yes, like this just screams taste. If you're looking to get a brand new pair of sunglasses or eyeglasses, make sure to check the link in my description to get 65% off your first order. Thank you GlassesUSA.com for sponsoring this video, and without further ado, let's get into the 40+ books that I'm about to Marie Kondo the heck out of. Let's just get these out of the way. These are Skyward and Starsight by Brandon Sanderson, and these are a science fiction young adult story. The reason that I'm getting rid of these books, it's not because I didn't enjoy them. Obviously I did. Look at the amount of tabs that I used for these books. I don't regret annotating them because when I was reading them, and for a couple of years after I read them, I was convinced that I was going to love these books forever and ever. I was going to read every single book in the series. But as the years went on, my love or my interest for science fiction, the genre, it dwindled into nothing. It's not that I hate science fiction, it's just that I can't really relate to the story because there's very few science fiction books that I love and adore. I don't think there's even one. I'm sorry, I'm trying to be kind to this genre, but I don't think there's even one book that I would say I love that is science fiction. Please correct me if I'm wrong, because I probably am. I'm used to being wrong. I just don't accept it. Sci-fi and I are officially breaking up. Sci-fi and I are never ever getting back together. It's just not gonna happen. And I think I held on to these books because I thought it would, but I think it's officially time to be like, sis, no, let's move on. On that same note, there is another category that I'm also over. I don't think I was ever under it, but wow, look at me with the jokes. I think it's been quite a long time since I've picked up one of these types of books and actually enjoyed them. And I think I mostly kept these because of how pretty they are. And I was like, maybe someday someone is gonna walk in and they're gonna be like, hey, do you have any graphic novels that are like really cool? I was kind of hesitant to let go of all of my graphic novels. Well, not all of them, because Heartstopper does count as a graphic novel. These just have to go. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 graphic novels that I am officially giving up, because I do feel like just someone out there is going to love them more than I ever could. And yeah, let's go through these. The first one that I'm going to be getting rid of is Snot Girl by Brian Lee O'Malley. This I actually really didn't like. I think this was a really poorly done story. I think the only good thing about this is the cover. Like, the cover is really beautiful, and I do believe that they have a very nice use of coloring and the way that the illustrations are made. I think that was very well done, but the story itself is very boring. It has no body. The characters were all forgetful and lackluster, and you know me and my characters. If the characters don't have any meat, if the characters don't have, like, you know, that thing that makes them shine, if the characters don't have sazon, it's going to be a very hard pass for me. So this is the first one that I'm going to be getting rid of, or giving away. I'm not gonna throw it in the trash can. The next one is Zodiac Star Force, The Power of Astra by Kevin Panetta. Again, very beautiful. This is a group of girls. It kind of reminded me of, what's that, The Winx Club? This kind of gave me that, but it's a bit more quirky and it's a bit more nerdy. And it's just this group of girls. It's also very gay, which, like, yay, go gays. Again, the coloring is very beautiful, but again, not enough to keep me interested, to keep me wanting to continue on with the story. Blackbird by Sam Humphries. Again, like, come on. Honestly, I think the main reason that I got most of these graphic novels is because of the covers and because of what they promised. Then we have volumes 1 and 2 of Paper Girls. Don't ask me what this is about, because I think I had a good idea, but I definitely forgot it. This is another good example of my love for color. As you can see, I liked it so much, and I thought I would because I bought volume 2. Like, I really thought I was going to love this series. I really thought this was going to be something. So imagine how disappointed I was when I realized that it wasn't going to be something. Again, I do believe this is gay. So if you're looking for some girlies who like to spend time with each other and are going to be mistaken as just friends, you could definitely pick these up. If you're looking for, yet again, another lackluster story. Okay, I think it's coming back. These are Paper Girls because they deliver the newspaper every morning, and then this one time that they're delivering papers, the world suddenly starts to fall apart, like monsters start coming out of the sky, and these girls, since they're not at home, they're kind of like together. They're like, oh my god, what's going on? Let's go back home. When they go back home, their families aren't there. Literally no one is there, only monsters, and so they start to team up and try to survive against these extraterrestrial monsters that have come into Earth. So yeah, somehow there's romance involved, you know, while the world is falling apart. What better way to explore your sexuality than when the world is about to end? So yeah, Paper Girls. The last graphic novel that I'm going to be saying goodbye to is Saga Volume 1. I know that so many people love this series. I know so many people abide by this. They recommend it to everyone that they meet, but this is very science fiction-y. And I'm not against science fiction. I want to be very clear about that. I'm not going to say no to a story just because it's science fiction. As you can see, I gave it a try. It did not work out, but this, if I'm remembering correctly, I did read this a couple of years ago. I do think this is sort of like a Romeo and Juliet situation where these two people, they're from opposing clans or like opposing species, but they fall in love and they have a child. And since this child is, you know, sort of illegal because these two people can't fall in love and they can't get married, they're trying to kill the kid or they're trying to kill all three of them. So now they're on the run. There's different types of species, different types of just living beings, and yeah, it's like, you know, like, it just wasn't for me, and it's a pity because I did want to like this. I did want to jump into the Saga bandwagon, but I fell. Instead of jumping, I just fell. I fell right off. There's no getting back on it, and I don't think I want to. I think I'll just wait for the next one to come around because I just didn't really connect, once again, to the characters. The characters are such an important part for me, like, personally. This just didn't cut it for me, personally. So it's another bye-bye. It's another bye-bye birdie. These next two books are ones that I've had in my TBR for over 4 years. And you know, if it's been that long, you're probably never going to pick them back up. The first book is Kafka on the Shore, written by Haruki Murakami. As you can see, I had a very stable plan. I had my pages planned out, like my daily goals. I was going to read this. These tabs were put in a 1.5 years ago, and I still haven't picked it up because I have tried reading this book before. I think I made it to like page 150, and I had to stop because there's this really explicit scene where cats are being tortured, and nobody talks about that. Literally, everybody just either forgets or they're like, did that really happen? Oh no, oh my God. So I was very traumatized, and I felt very gaslighted by everybody when I talked about that scene, and they were like, I have no idea what you're talking about. You should just like skip over that scene and continue reading because it gets so good. And I kind of held on to that hope of it gets better, but there's only so much that other people's words can help you if you yourself aren't really that into reading this book. The reasons that I wanted to read this book were more to see what all the fuzz was about and less so my own interest for this story. Like, I have zero interest on Haruki Murakami. And I wish that weren't so because I know that he is such a renowned Japanese author. I know that so many people love his books. I don't know why. I honestly don't. This is like my third Murakami book. The first two I really did not vibe with, so I don't know why I thought that this would be any different. But I've learned my lesson and it's time to move on. I'm finally confident enough in my reading tastes to say that I am done reading books for other people. I just want to read books that I know I'm going to like and that I know are going to teach me something. And I just know this won't do it. I just know this is for somebody else that is not me. The next book I held on to for so long because it was a gift from a friend. And I have this thing where when people send me books, I feel really guilty if A, I don't like them, or B, I didn't even read them and I'm going to give them away. That person went out of their way to get me a gift, and they put so much thought and love into this gift, and here I am just giving it away. And I've sort of battled with that guilt because I was like, okay, so should I just keep the book to make this person happy and ultimately make me miserable, or should I, hope that this person understands that it's not against them, but it's more like it's a me thing? So, if this person is watching, or if any of the people that have sent me books see their books in this pile, I hope you understand that it's not that I hated the gift. I genuinely I was really happy when I received the book, and of course I had expectations that I was going to love this book, and even though I'm giving them away, I still cherish them and I'm still very grateful for them. But I think I don't want to keep books just to make other people happy. I feel like this era, this new Throne of Pages era, is just learning to put myself first and learning that you can't make everybody happy, so why not just try to make yourself happy and just see what happens. So with that disclaimer out of the way, the next book that I'm going to be giving away or unhauling is A Song of Wraiths and Ruin by Roseanne A. Brown. This is on my physical TBR, so buddy read? Yes? Okay, cool. Neither of us has read this book. We did make plans, we just never went through. Like, the plans just fell apart, just like my interest for this book. I know a lot of people like this, maybe, probably. You know what, that's a lie. I haven't seen anybody speak about this book. Maybe when it first came out, sure, but now, crickets. Throughout the years, I've learned that even though it's a tough pill to swallow, I do have to just accept that beautiful covers don't immediately, automatically mean a beautiful book. And I thought that just the book cover itself was going to entice me to pick this book up, but I've been burned too many times to expect that this is going to be a good book just because of the cover. Yeah, it's just time to say goodbye. So everybody, say goodbye. The Beautiful by Renee Ahdieh. This is an ARC that was sent to my friend, and then my friend, after she read it, she sent it to me. And even though I did enjoy it, I think I actually really loved it because it's set in 1872. You can tell how much I loved it by how much I remember. 1872, New Orleans is a city ruled by the dead. Okay, so vampires, serial killer, hello. I think at the time, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the writing. I really enjoyed the characters. I really enjoyed the setting, New Orleans, the 1800s, come on now. But I know there's a sequel. I don't know if it's like a trilogy or a series. And the fact that I don't care to know, or I don't care to find out, must tell you how invested I am in this story. I think too much time passed between me reading this book and me wanting to pick up the second book. There are so many life lessons I'm imparting to you on this video, but I've also come to realize that life, although it feels long, it's not that long, and you won't have all of the time in the world to read all of the books that you want. So why would I prioritize continuing a series that I'm lukewarm about, instead of focusing on other books that I know I'm going to love and that I'm extremely excited about? Why would I waste time on books that just don't spark the same type of joy? So the main reason I'm giving this up is because I just know there are better books out there, and I don't care to continue with the story. And that's that on that. A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and this came in a Fairy Loot box. I think this is one of the very few Fairy Loot books that I've actually enjoyed. I don't know what it is with Fairy Loot books and me, but we just don't click. I feel like every single Fairy Loot book that I've received, it's either a 3 or a 2-star, and this is like the only 4-star Fairy Loot book that I've received. This is also a series, and I also have no intention of continuing on with this. This is also signed by the author. That's cute. That's stupendous. I've always loved reading retellings of Beauty and the Beast, but I don't think I love this one enough to want to reread ever again or have on my shelves even, so it's gonna be a no for me. And also, like, this spine, it was a good idea, but it just breaks the aesthetic in my bookshelf. I'm sorry, I have to say it, I have to admit it. This just breaks the aesthetic because it doesn't match literally anything else. So it's like, where do I even put you? In the unhaul pile. These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. As you can see, I have another copy of These Violent Delights, and the reason that I'm giving this one away is because this isn't the one that I read. I read this one, the original, which was a gift from a friend, and this came in the Illumicrate box, I believe. I don't even know. Oh, this is actually from Fairy Loot. Wow, what is this color? Pink. This has pink sprayed edges, and it's also, what, signed by the author. There we go, that's stunning. Another sticker from the author. This also has like this annotated chapter from the book, and we have beautiful fan art. Like, you know, it's a whole thing. But once again, this is not the copy that I read. I read this one and I annotated it, and I didn't love this book enough to keep 2 copies. So even though I do love this copy because it's pink, who doesn't love a good pink moment, I'm just gonna stick with the one that I annotated because for me it's way more special. And yeah, Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas. I don't think I need to talk about this that much. If you saw my TikTok video, like reading popular TikTok books, you know how I feel about this. I'm not going to waste any more time speaking about this book. Yeah, Punk 57, bye-bye. I see you, and I know that everybody else sees you, but I don't even want to touch you. You're so disgusting to me. I love a good dramatic moment. Fine, I'll talk about The Elephant in the Room. Yolk by Mary H.K. Choi. Do I really need to talk about this? Do you really want me to go over how atrocious this book was, how problematic, how disgusting this book is, how utterly insensitive it is to eating disorders, and if you want to know why, I do have a vlog where I go on like a 10-minute rant about this book and how toxic this is. I really don't understand. Like, I just really don't understand. And I wish I did. I wish I were part of the Mary H.K. Choi club cult at this point, but I just don't. And Yolk made me fall victim to the beautiful cover, beautiful book theory. It was not the case, even though it has this wonderful, it's the designers that went into this book really, really did their best. And it's such a shame because this book doesn't deserve to be this pretty. You know what I mean? Like, there are so many other better books that deserve more attention and deserve better cover designs. Why spend your time and money and efforts and talent in designing such a beautiful cover for what is probably one of the worst books I've read? And this is the thing. The reason that I kept this for so long is because this was a gift. This was a lovely gift from a subscriber, and I felt so bad that I wanted to puke every time that I saw this. But I think it's time to just put myself first. I think it's time to accept that this just will never be a good book. It will never be for me. And even though I really appreciate the person who sent this book to me, I hope that person understands that this just brings negativity into my space, and that's something that I'm trying to get rid of. I have enough negativity as is. I don't need more. So yeah, this is leaving. This is finally leaving. Anyways, I'm so happy I got that out of the way. Okay. Behind Her Eyes by Sarah Pinborough. This is a thriller and I really enjoyed it, but I think that with thriller books, once you know the plot twist, once you know how it ends, why would you reread it? I mean, honestly, sometimes if the plot twist is like really surprising, you're like, I need to reread and see if there were any clues or any foreshadowing that I could have guessed. For me personally, I don't think I will ever do that with this book, even though I did enjoy this book when I read it. I found it really entertaining, and the twists and turns that the story took were very unique and just a joy to read about because it was stunning. It was like really surprising and shocking, and that's kind of what you want with a thriller. But I just don't see myself rereading this, and that's okay. So it's time to make room for some other books. These books are a throwback. Let me know in the comments below if you've ever read these books, because these are like true 2015 urban trash fantasy books. And it's the Sweet Evil series by Wendy Higgins. So we have Sweet Evil. Look at her. Yeah, we got the dress, we got the man, we got it all. This is Sweet Temptation, which is the first book but told from the guy's point of view. As you can see, they were truly, you know, these are like money makers. They have no literary value. It's more like, oh, so this works? Okay, let's do it again, but a little differently so that I can get more money. And I fell for the trap. Sweet Reckoning, which I think is the third book, and then Sweet Peril, which is the second one in the series. As you can see, the dress and the guy never fails. I really enjoyed this series when I first read them, because the main reason that I picked them up is because in the Lux books, which you can see there, Jennifer L. Armentrout and Wendy Higgins, I don't know if they still are, but they used to be really close friends. And in the Lux series, Sweet Evil is actually mentioned as Katie's favorite books. Katie is the main character in the Lux series, and I loved Katie so much. I was like, okay, I need to read these books. I need to be more like Katie. So I bought them. And I will be honest, when I read them, I really did enjoy them, I think. If I'm remembering correctly, I really enjoyed them because it's based on the 7 deadly sins, which is another concept that I really love. So we've got wrath, envy, lust, gluttony, sloth, and what's another one? Pride? I'm missing one. This is gonna haunt me. Okay. Lust. I'm looking at my Full Metal manga because they also focus on the 7 deadly sins. Okay, so we've got lust, wrath, pride, greed, envy, sloth, and gluttony. Yes, these are the 7 deadly sins. And these books took that concept as sort of like, you know, their base. And even though it does have fallen angels, it has demons and guardian angels, these angels, I think the fallen angels, are based around these 7 deadly sins. And they also sort of embody the sin that they are named after. So our main love interest is called Wrath. So of course, he's a little wrathful. I don't know why I'm talking about these books as if I'm pitching them to you. It's like, I'm getting rid of these books. I'm not staying with these books. Like, I'm saying goodbye to them. So I don't know why I'm like speaking so highly of them. But the point is, I did enjoy them, but they belong to the past. They belong to a Bella that is no longer here. She can't come to the phone right now because she's dead. And that's okay. You know, we've mourned her. It's been a long time, and it's time to say goodbye. These are like relics from a past Bella, and they were nice, you know, for a good throwback moment, but I've had enough. I think we've all had enough. All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven. Yes, I'm just getting rid of this. All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson. I read this for the reading rush in 2020, and I enjoyed it. It was okay. I know that a lot of people absolutely adore this book, and I wish I could say the same, but I just didn't feel very strongly about this book. I thought it was a bit boring, not going to lie. Would I read it again? No. Would I recommend it? No. Did I keep it this long because of the cover? Yes. Let's move on. Okay, so this one hurts because it's by Uncle Rick. And I never thought that I would be getting rid of an Uncle Rick book, because if you've been here for a while, you know how much Uncle Rick means to me, how much his books have helped me throughout the years, how much I love Percy Jackson and Annabeth, and so many wonderful memories are attached to Rick Riordan and the books and characters that he's created. So the fact that I'm getting rid of one of his most recent books is very disheartening to me, because I just really didn't enjoy this book. I found it lackluster. It was, I don't know, it didn't give me Uncle Rick vibes, and it's very sad because I just really wanted to love this book. And it is The Daughter of the Deep, or Daughter of the Deep without the D. Okay, Daughter of the Deep by Rick Riordan. This is a modern retelling of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, but it's not really a retelling, it's more like a sequel. I really wanted to enjoy this. This is a standalone, so that's great. That means I don't have to, you know, pretend to be interested in the sequel. We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. This recently became famous again because of TikTok, but I read it so long ago, and I know there's like a prequel coming out. I know that E. Lockhart has written other books apart from We Were Liars, but none have ever hit as hard as this book, because it was very, you know, show-stopping, groundbreaking, never before done before. Yes, but do I have any interest in reading this ever again? Not really. Did I keep it because it looked cool on my shelf? Yeah, totally. But cooler books are out, and books that actually make me happy and make me excited to own. I have more of those now, so I don't really need this to sort of take the space of other books that I know are going to make me happier. So it's time to say goodbye. Everybody say goodbye to We Were Liars. Anyways, I just realized my earrings were tucked into my collar this whole time. That is disgusting. But The Bone Houses, yes, it was an enjoyable story when I read it. Very intricate, very thrill type of vibe, very mysterious. Will I read it again? No. Would I recommend it? No. Let's move on. Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. A witch and a witch hunter fall in love. This is the story of what happens to them. It was good. It was okay. I'm not going to be continuing with the series, so I see no reason to keep this arc of the first book that, even though I did enjoy when I first read it, I'm just never going to pick up back again or continue with the series. So yes, goodbye. This is an old one, so if you recognize this one, let me know, because it means that you've been on booktube for a very long time. It is I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson. I've always wanted to reread this book because when I first read it, I remember that I really enjoyed it, but then I don't remember what happens in this book. I know that it's a story about sisters, or like siblings, like a brother and a sister. Jude and her twin brother Noah are incredibly close. So yeah, in the past they're really close, and then in the present they're like, you know, they're not friends anymore, they're not very close, and this book is trying to piece together what happened to make them so separated from each other. I always wanted to reread this book, but the more time that passed, the more my interest just dwindled, and I just know I'm never going to pick this book back up again. So I think it's time to say goodbye. The Silence of Bones by June Her. This was very disappointing. That's all I'm gonna say. Note to Self by Connor Franta. I think this is the only like famous YouTuber book that I've ever bought and read and actually enjoyed. Yeah, Connor Franta, if you don't know, he was very famous, used to be very famous back when Zoella and Alfie and all of those people used to also be very famous. Troye Sivan, he was very close to Troye Sivan, and some people say that some of the poems that Connor wrote are based on Troye Sivan. This is a very nice collection of just like Connor's thoughts mixed in with some of the photographs that he's taken himself, and I really enjoyed it at the time, but I've mostly kept it because it's so pretty and also because it fit really well in my pink shelf. But now that my pink shelf is no longer alive, you know, like I've sort of destroyed it, I really don't know what I'm doing with that shelf, but that's for another video. So I am finally going to be saying goodbye to Note to Self by Connor Franta. I really thought this was really deep and like poignant, but when I reread it, I was like, is this it? Did I really think this Instagram caption was deep? You know, it's like those types of things. It's very reminiscent of another book that I am going to show very soon that I'm unhauling because it's just very disgusting, and it's like a crime to call it poetry. One Last Stop by Casey McKiston. I know so many people love this book. I know so many people gave it 5 stars. I know so many people apparently don't care about hygiene, and they don't care about having sex on the floor of a subway with rats and piss and other unnameable liquids and chemicals on the floor. You just, when the mood strikes, you just have to do it wherever you want to do it. That's what Casey McKiston shows us in One Last Stop. Yeah, apart from the subway scene, the rest of the book was very lackluster. I feel like the characters were just not there. They were very on paper, not very fleshed out. They felt like caricatures of actual people. And you never want your characters to feel like that. You never want your characters to feel like a joke or a parody, or it was just not very well done. And coming from Red, White, and Royal Blue, you were expecting, something a little more good, a little better than this. Super sad, no, super fake love song by David Yoon this is the author of Frankly in Love, and this was his next novel. Very subpar, very lackluster, very underwhelming. Like, I just remember not enjoying this book and taking like 3 weeks to read a 300-page book because it was so boring and nothing was happening, and like the conflict of the story was just not, it was just not good, my dude. It was just not good. Running with Wolves by Julianne Winters, not good. This is the book that I was talking about. This is a crime. To call this book poetry is an insult to any other type of poetry or poems that exist in this world. The Dark Between Stars by Mr. Atticus. He is an Instagram poet. And the thing is, all of the poems that you can find here, like all of the little Instagram captions that you can just copy paste into your own post, Atticus posts them on his Instagram. So instead of paying for this, I could have just jumped on real quick into his Instagram and just read the poems there. Like, there is no need for this because all of these poems, all of these supposed poems are already on Instagram. So what is the point of stealing my money and putting on just some random pictures that mean absolutely nothing just so you can get some money from me? I think that's the definition of being swindled. I think there needs to be like this Netflix special of Atticus Swindler, Poem Swindler. I have been cheated of my hard-earned money, and I think I need some compensation for this because this was honestly so bad. This is just a joke. This just feels like one of those gifts that you give people that you hate, but you can't tell them that you hate them. Yeah, this just felt like punishment from my past life. Like, I must have done something terrible in my past life for me to experience this now. Foreshadow, stories to celebrate the magic of reading and writing YA, Emily Exarpan and Nova Rensuma with other authors. This is like a compilation of short stories on different genres, and I did enjoy it, but I don't see myself rereading this ever. And I feel like maybe somewhere, someone, maybe a teacher, maybe a student who really wants to get into writing could enjoy this more than me. So it's not really doing any good just sitting on my shelf doing absolutely nothing. The Chosen and the Beautiful by Nevo. This is a feminist retelling of The Great Gatsby. It also has fantastical elements, so I would say it's sort of magical realism. And it is blurbed by R.F. Kuang, and before I read this, I was really excited because of that fact, because R.F. Kuang says, Gatsby the way it should have been written, dark, dazzling, and fantastical. A sumptuous novel that tangles with race, magic, sexuality, and class. I didn't like it. And we will move on. The Way I Used to Be by Amber Smith. I think our main character was sexually assaulted by her brother's best friend, and she tried telling her family. They didn't believe her, so it's her sort of struggling with the consequences of that action and sort of PTSD from obviously such a traumatizing experience. So it's a very heavy story. And yeah, that's it. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm kind of getting tired of talking about these books because I've already said goodbye to them. So I think I'm just gonna like speed run them because I don't have much to say anymore. The Tourist Attraction by Sarah Morgenthaler and Conventionally Yours by Annabeth Albert. This was good, this was trash. The Wicked Deep by Shay Earnshaw. I don't remember what this was about. And The Archived by Victoria Schwab. Disgusting. Probably one of the most disappointing reads of whenever I read this. I think it was 2019. Very disappointed because by that point I thought Victoria Schwab or V.E. Schwab was going to become a favorite author. And then I read this book and I realized, maybe not. Maybe I jumped the gun. Maybe she will never be a favorite author. The last 3 books that I'm going to be getting rid of are the 5th Season trilogy. And this is, again, one that I felt guilt over. So that's why it took me so long to get rid of it. I only read the 5th season and a friend actually got me the whole box set. And that's why I kept them for so long, because I just felt guilty because it's such a beautiful gift. It's such a thoughtful gift. But the 5th season was such a bad book. It was so boring and it was so, oh God, it was so boring. Like just even thinking about it, I'm getting war flashbacks of how boring it was. And my reading experience, like it made me want to never read again. And I think this is when my disinterest for fantasy started to appear. So yeah, 5th season, The Obelisk Gate, and finally The Stone Sky. Yes, it's time to say goodbye. I'm never going to read these books because the first one was such a bore to get through. So yeah, those are all the books that I am going to be unhauling, you know, making room for new books that hopefully are going to become new favorites, hopefully are going to bring me a lot more joy than these books did. Out with the old, in with the new, goodbye clouds of gray, hello skies of blue, dip in the pool. Okay, I'm gonna stop. But yeah, so let me know which books you're upset to see in this list, which books you understand why they're in this list. Just let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know if you enjoyed. Let me know if you would like to see a book haul of all the new books that I got. And yes, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do hope you enjoyed. If you would like to see more from me, I do have a Patreon. I will be leaving the link down below if you're interested. I'm currently hosting this month-long readathon in August, and it's called the Summer of Simps. We've got bingo boards, we've got 24-hour readathons, we've got reading prompts. We have so many things going on, and it is Patreon exclusive, so if you're interested, also the link is down below. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I love you all so very much, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.
Hey Jimmy, you nice, keep going.